or mid lane team fight, excuse me, as we get into draft with that huge ulti on like 3 members, that is game determining. You can't be in the super mega death bomb and expect to survive when he does have 1-2 items. So if he gets the Ziggs again, maybe there's an answer, maybe there's not, but Court's making it look good, and yeah, get that one out of here. See you smiling and laughing. I'm sure CB Clockwork are not smiling and laughing about that one. Immediately taken off the board.
Yep, like we were expecting. Definitely gonna be a Draven ban. Maybe not the first ban, but it is pretty funny to see it first ban. Like you're saying, that Ziggs ultimate was recently buffed with that speed buff, which is not really something that you usually get to see buffed. Usually it is that damage, but the speed makes it a lot harder to dodge and a lot easier to land that damage that you are able to find, especially if, like you're saying, you are sitting on 2 items on a Ziggs. Definitely is very powerful. And again, we get to see that comfort pick Ivern is banned away from Classic.
Yeah, don't need to give that one in to CB Clockwork at any point. If they do get the Ivern, that's one of the champions in the jungle that it's really, really hard to track, right? He can have super creative pathing, can get involved early, and be super useful late game. Serpent's Fang, almost a necessity against that champion. Really would have liked to see Serpent's Fang from Three's Mark last game, by the way, if you're listening. Really good against the enemy champions. Collector gives you lethality. Hey, guess what? Serpent's Fang does the same thing. You'll still get as much damage. Maybe losing out a little bit of crit strike, but he never built IE anyway. So if you're listening, Three's Mark, really great option. Don't talk about my Samira itemization. I know it was bad. Got taken off the board as well, along with the Nocturne. Nocturne, honestly, causing a lot of problems, making things really rough to maneuver. Seraphine as well. Couple ultis that were, we'll call them average, and that one will be taken away in the final ban here for Clockwork.
I do kind of think Seraphine is kind of like that in-between champ between Karma and Sona in terms of meta. It's just Karma, way better champion, Sona, way worse champion, and Seraphine is kind of the champion that you pick if you can't pick either one of those. Then Lulu B1, we did see Lulu banned away in game 1, and now we get to see it first picked for Clockwork.
Just pick Lulu, I guess. If
Yes.
your AD carry needs extra safety, just pick the Lulu. Get the polymorph, you get the shields, wild growth. Pretty dang hard to run it down when you have a Lulu on your team. Makes it really difficult. Classic, though, they don't need their Draven. That one was banned away. Instead, right back to the Tristana. This is what I was talking about in game 1. Ended up being the Draven pick, but this is the other really aggressive AD carry that Three's Mark enjoys. Can get a little Malphite-y here and there, if I'm going to be honest. Need to be careful not to rocket jump in at the wrong time. Polymorph is already a threat you have to worry about. Morgana, though, gives you that safety, and all right, we're going full index. The question is, who's playing the Kog'Maw and who's playing the Lulu?
Well, sources say that it would be smart to put Dory on the Lulu. Now we get to cycle through every single jungle champion in the game here for CB Clockwork, as they're having a Lilia now. Could literally be locking on Yasuo for all we know. Okay, it's Wukong.
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to get the Lilia. Buffs aren't out yet for the healing. That's coming in a later patch. Wukong. It does all right into the Tristana. You got the armor passive, the knock-up as well. Can make it pretty hard to jump away if you don't buffer that one correctly. Zac would signal a full engage composition. I'm not sure you want the Zac into a Kog'Maw Lulu, though. That's like the one champion that doesn't really access the backline well enough. You have to land your skill shot, and if you don't, you're not helping your team kill the Kog'Maw. Malphite could have been a better option, to be honest, but doesn't perform awfully well into the Wukong. So Classic are indexing. Classic are indexing into this full on engage, but Clockwork just need to kite this one out, and they can easily win these team fights.
Yeah, they had the rough early game last game. This game, not going to be as rough. It could be pretty hard pre-6 for CB Clockwork, but after level 6, you've got the Kog'Maw Lulu. You're going to play around them, and if this Kog'Maw gets nearly even half as fed as Draven did last game, then he's going to be 10 times bigger.
And I'm interested to see what Classic pick up here in the mid lane as well. If they are going to R5 their mid laner, I would expect that to be the case. probably just counterpick the Wukong, assuming that one's going top. Instead, actually, no, they grab the Orianna, and this is going to lead into a point that I want to mention as well. Now, Kog'Maw has the option of building Wit's End and taking like 0 damage to Zac. The Bombies does magic. The Orianna will do magic if your mid laner is AP. Morgana, any extra damage across the board. You take almost no damage at all unless you're getting hit by Tristana. So, not sure what Classic are thinking about the Shockwave combo with the Zac if Kog'Maw can just survive it all. Clockwork now have nice disengage. The Neeko is really good. As soon as Zac jumps into you, you go up into the Pot Blossom, come right back down, and everyone that jumped in is now stunned up.
Yeah, it's almost like that point and click CC, but not quite as... You're just assuming that they're going to be going into you with this comp, like you're saying, with that Zac and that Tristana. Hopefully, the Tristana isn't as in as the Zac is, but yeah, Neeko could definitely go for some of these flashy flash plays, flash engages in this late game if they are that far ahead, but Renekton B5 could also be finding a little bit more picks for himself as well, as that's not really synergizing with the rest of the comp. As is that a Wukong jungle?
Yeah, I think it is going to be Monkey in the jungle time here for Clockwork. I'll have to check on the comfort there for their jungler, but last pick anyway for Classic, regardless. Now they know where everything is headed. Probably going to be the Neeko mid, Renekton top. And they want the Shen into the Renekton. Provides way more late game potential. The Stand United on top of the Zac. If you get the taunt onto Kog'Maw, that is one way to lock him down and actually burst him out through all the Lulu protection. So that could be an angle if you really index everything. But then at that point, you're putting the Orianna ball on your Zac, you're putting the Shen ulti on your Zac, you're putting the Black Shield on your Zac, and you're just praying to whatever deity you believe in that this Zac can land his CC. If not, everything misses, and you're just left empty-handed, and Kog'Maw's gonna shred everyone.
Yeah, you've just gotta pray that you're able to CC this Kog'Maw. And if you don't, then that's a team fight, basically, is how this is going to go. But on the other side, if you are able to pick this Kog'Maw off before a team fight happens, then that is going to go way in favor for Classic, because for CB Clockwork, your only other really consistent damage is going to be that Neeko, and she's much more of a burst mage than that Kog'Maw, which is that DPS that you're going to need to be winning these team fights. So a pick onto either Kog'Maw or Lulu before a team fight could definitely set it straight for Classic in this game, too.
Yeah, and honestly, like, the only threat isn't the Kog'Maw, right? You have to worry about the Neeko, the big burst with the Pot Blossom. Renekton can also one-shot your backline if you're not careful. If you're sending all your resources onto the Zac, onto the Engage, that means you're leaving nothing for Threes Mark on the Tristana. Gets stunned up, Cole Lemeek just rips all the way through. And the Wukong as well, who can clone and sort of deceive his way onto the backline, especially if you have the Flash, can really gap close from distances you wouldn't expect. So lots of threats here for CB Clockwork. Definitely lots of options to win team fights. Definitely lots of ways to win. Classic, it's very cut and dry. Level 6 is their bread and butter. They're going to bring the Stand United bot lane. They're going to bring the Zac in over wall. The Orianna's going to show up with a Shockwave, maybe TP in or just roam on down if she does get the wave priority. And yeah, they're just looking to one-shot Clockwork. And if you get Turtle on AD carry, who's now back in his position, so beautifully lined up, if you can get him, probably going to win the team fight. If you don't, I'm not sure that you can survive the late game damage of a Kog'Maw.
Yeah, Classic, like you're saying, does need to be getting a strong early lead in this game, whether that's on Kog'Maw or whether that's on another lane. And if they don't, then they've really got to be scared of that late game from the Kog'Maw Lulu. And even as well, it's just, there's going to be so much damage coming out from them. It's going to be way too hard to stop them. Yes, you have a lot that you can put on top of your Zac, but there's only so much you can pile onto one enemy champion, and then you realize there's 4 others that could also be hitting us. So it's going to be a little rough if Classic aren't able to find that early lead pre-20 minutes and pre-3-item Kog'Maw.
Yeah, and I'm looking at bot lane again as well. You have the Tristana, you have the aggressive lane. You got to be careful, though, about the Polymorph, of course, and whether Anderson Cooper sitting bot lane this time. And I'm not sure if this is just to troll us, Cam. They have the Zac in the top lane. I would fully expect these two to swap. River Shen, not all too popular. The clear is so slow. It's almost painful compared to a lot of the other junglers. Wukong doesn't have the fastest clear either early on, but definitely will ramp up with time. And Zac in top lane against Renekton, that just doesn't sound like a fun time, to be honest. Like, that's not what you want. You want something safe. You want something with that auto block from the Shen and the extra shielding that you can get can help you out and survive. But yeah, I'm looking at Threesmark. I'm looking at Abalama trying to win the 2v2. And if they do that again, and if Kog'Maw's behind, then you don't even have to worry about accessing backline. Then you just start worrying about the front line, and you work your way from there. I'm curious, Cam, if you think there's anyone on Classic outside of Threesmark that could make a difference this game, assuming we're getting the Shen top.
I don't want to assume it's a Shen top. I want to assume it's a Zac jungle. If they are able to get that Zac ahead, I do believe that Zac is probably in the top 3 of junglers right now. I haven't gotten to see him a whole lot in competitive, but in solo queue alone, I do think he's actually kind of sleeper OP up there. So if he does get ahead early game, there's nothing really stopping him from building more AP damage than tank, as Shen could just be their sole tank here. So if they do manage to get their Zac ahead, then he can either build the AP carry himself or just start trying to pile more kills onto their Tristana Morgana bot lane, which, again, on the other side of this bot lane from the Kog'Maw Lulu even, Tristana is another 1v9 potential AD carry.
Yeah, and Threesmark is a 1v9 player. So,
yes.
so
we got to see a game 1.
You match those two up, and it's a match made in heaven. Threesmark, again, if they do get ahead, fully expect him to do a lot of work. Quartz, just expecting him to hold his own against the Neeko in lane. As long as you don't get bound up, you play round vision properly, you hover to the correct side of the lane as necessary, should be just fine into the Neeko. Pretty short range champion as well. Can't punish the Orianna all too hard. So waiting to see if that Zac and Shen do get swapped. But for now, on the other side of the coin, CB Clockwork, who of course need wins now. This is do or die time for them. I'm looking at the solo lanes here for CB Clockwork to try to get something done. Anderson Cooper had a really good start to the last game, and that ended up being pretty rough for him. But Triple on the Renekton can really start to punish this Shen. And if he's solo killing, if he's pairing up with Anderson and making the dives happen, this could be their win condition outside of course, the late game Kog'Maw.
Yeah, Anderson got his Nocturne banned away this game, so he could definitely be out for blood. As you play a champion game 1, you pop off on it, but then you unfortunately lose, then it's like they banned it away in game 2, so there is definitely a little bit of spite there on the Wukong. Could be going for more of those engages that you maybe otherwise wouldn't have. But again, he's just going to be trying to get these kills on this Kog'Maw Lulu, and anyone else just isn't nearly going to be as impactful in that later stages.
Yeah, and as the game goes on, our eyes go from top to bottom, just like reading a book, right? You just want to look at Turtle the later things go on. Where's his itemization going? And I really hope Dunsey and Sulpan hit on this pretty heavy. If you're going something like the Kraken Slayer, yeah, you're going to kill the front line pretty damn fast, but you don't quite get the safety from something like a Wit's End first build. Even could go Shield Bow, could possibly go Gale Force to dodge the initial engage from the Zac. Get out of the Shockwave as well, could completely turn a fight. So lots of options for Turtle on the Kog'Maw. Definitely could extend himself into many different build paths. But overall, I'm looking at Clockwork. I don't think that they want to mess with Classic as soon as that level 6 comes in. You always have to be so ready for Shen to just appear out of nowhere.
Yeah, with that Stand United, it's just so hard to go in on anyone. And the Tristana Morgana also have that little bit of a secret wombo where if you land that Morgana Q, Tristana can just jump in and then all of a sudden there's 3 people on top of you with the Shen as well. So there's a lot of things that could go wrong for Clockwork on this level 6 if they aren't playing it as carefully, because yes, their early game is not going to be nearly as strong if they aren't able to find kills for their late game.
I'm so excited to see Clockwork and what they can do with this composition. They have so many threats, so many ways to win this game. Classic, though, of course, they're grouping up and they're standing united as a team, looking to take this series 2-0 so far. Quick update across the league, though. Obviously, Classic taking game 1 here on stream over Clockwork. Cape Dogs have taken down the likes of Degenerates Ascension in Game 1, making sure their playoff position still stays intact. And Hawkthorn, of course, taking down Zenigma Eclipse in the process. All 1-0 so far. We'll keep you updated as we go. But for now, our eyes are peeled on Clockwork versus Classic. 5th seed versus 7th seed. We'll be right back with our casters as we ready for the Rift.
We are back onto the Rift. Classic Esports has found their first win, but they got to do it twice more to take the last playoff spot here over CV Clockwork. Very different comps as we head into Game 2 here, and Dunsey, I got it right that time.
There you go.
Myself. What are you thinking here for the second game?
I mean, it was so close in Game 1 that I'm just so excited for Game 2 here. Like you said, I mean, we were kind of talking about it off broadcast here for a minute. You mentioned how both teams just have completely different comps. The bans coming out, they took away the Draven, of course, from Three's Mark. So that wasn't available. The Seraphine also was gone in the first rotation. So Classic were kind of forced to change a little bit. But I don't think a single champion... Yeah, not a single pick was repeated from Game 1 by either team. Completely new look, including a new look bot lane for CB Clockwork here. DoriK going back to his support role. Forgotten Turtle on his Hex Kog'Maw here. He's got that cool, fancy Hex Gem skin here for you as he throws out his little laugh for the audience. And I'm excited to see it. CB Clockwork going back to what worked for them for the majority of the season, we should say, and we'll see if that helps them against one of the best AD carries in the league.
Man, the Hextech skins, I swear to you, are pay to win. Have you seen Twisted Fate's Destiny Hextech?
I have not.
It looks like Oriana's ball appears over your head, and then it freaks you out because you think you're about to get shockwaved. So maybe Kog'Maw's the same way. Don't know. We'll have to see as they move on to bot lane. Kind of the focus of the last match here. Three's Mark absolutely popping off on Draven. Had some troubles in the mid game, but ultimately exploded there in that last team fight. Able to find the win here over CB Clockwork. We'll have to see if he can replicate that success here.
Yeah, we'll see if he can get any exploding bombs this time on the heads of CB Clockwork. It'll be level 2 first for DoriK and Forgotten Turtle. They'll have that advantage. So no Tristana Power Spike early on. They're just going to have to kind of concede. The Lulu has a little bit more poke and a little bit more range early on against Abby's Morgana. So they get that level 2 push. The picks helping Kog'Maw out there, Forgotten Turtle, making sure that he's able to have some pressure. But don't do anything other than get the wave in, and they'll just be content with that for now. They do not want to give Three's Mark an early lead again, because that was one of the biggest problems that Clockwork had to deal with throughout Game 1.
Yeah, kind of looking at jungle pathing again. Oh, kind of really good trade here in mid lane for Booty Bang and Billy. That's why he's an all-pro member. But looking at jungle clears and jungle's champions again, kind of this game, you have Anderson Cooper who's actually opted to skip over his Raptors and Krugs. Wukong not super good at taking those. We'll have an earlier gank timing, and he's actually looking mid lane here towards this Orianna. We'll have to see if he can do anything. Finds the clone, finds the stealth, chasing forward with Indastrike, forces out the flash quarter hill. Gonna feel that one later. Now summoner down here in mid.
Yeah, good gank coming out from Anderson Cooper. We didn't talk about this Wukong jungle pick too much. It's definitely a new look. Anderson Cooper, he's also brought out the Ornn in a previous streamed week, so he is no stranger to unique jungle picks. We'll see what he can do. Is a camp behind right now, but he did get that flash, which is definitely worth it. And Quartz Hill, he will have a wave to soak, but he finds himself down. 6 CS already in the early game. He should be able to even that up here underneath his turret, though.
I think the craziest thing to me is just that we didn't see Xin Zhao get picked up. Was available, and now a great dash forward here. Bleeding Wolves looking for the trade. Anderson Cooper going to trade back on him. Dashing forward with the slice and dice. Finds the stun. Bleeding Wolves brought low, but he won't go down. Going to be safe underneath the tower for now. Anderson Cooper finding another flash.
Yeah, and that was like a max range stun there for Triple Cute. That Ruthless Predator barely getting off as Abby, man, she's been on it with these bindings.
Yeah, finding them on both Morgana and Seraphine really across both these games. So very different styles how you gotta land those. But a teleport top from Bleeding Wolves will find an instant gank, taunting the Wukong underneath tower. Anderson Cooper now forced to burn his own flash. But as a low and teleportless, flashless Chen in top lane, facing down a Renekton by himself.
Yeah, luckily for Bleeding Wolves, ooh.
Ladon might have this one, gonna dash in just a little bit too far. Trying to find the pullback with that Q, but not gonna get anyone with that one. Find some minions. A little bit of harass going down, but not going to find much here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I think Forgotten Turtle a little bit antsy there. Got the flash off. Flaydon's actually gonna stay. I think they assumed that he based. Abby fishing for another bind.
Can he find the connection? Get up Q1, pulling him back with the auto attack, but will it be enough to find the kill? This trade in the top lane. In the meantime, looks like nothing much gonna happen bot lane. Flash already forced out there on Forgotten Turtle. Can't burn it twice, so just gonna retreat here, go back to farming, continue moving on towards that level 6 so we can get that Let's Bounce in.
Yeah, Threesmark and Abby need to get the shove, though, because Anderson Cooper is close by. Forgotten Turtle, Dory K, they want to keep it here. The wave is at a perfect spot right now for a gank. You see both Nico, Booty Bang, and Billy having the shapeshift passive. There's 2 Wukongs coming to the bot lane. Gonna be a monkey party, but Threesmark luckily able to sniff it out. Abby and himself will blue pill, find themselves back into the base, and pick up their first items.
Returning back towards mid lane. I liked the clone look, but good vision set up there from the bot lane of Classic Esports means they're going to be staying just safe. Happy to take the reset. But again, falling a little behind in CS here early, and Threesmark was really the crux of that last game. Able to really carry that team fight, those team fights on his back. Needs to really get back to that same form, that same lead here in this bottom lane if they want to find themselves closer to that game or match point, I guess, for playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Cape Dogs won game 1, and so they have officially locked the 5th playoff spot, meaning there's only 1 available spot left for these 2 teams. This is it. Oh,
It's good use of Spirit's Refuge. Completely nullifies an attempted stun from Triple Q. So good trades coming up from top lane. You know, Shen, not always known for his lane dominance, but really good when you have so much of your trading power in that empowered auto.
yeah, unluckily for Triple Q, Ruthless Predator are going to be completely negated there. Here comes a nice gank from Flaydon, though.
Not going to find the pullback, though. Just really struggling to land these elastic slingshots. Triple Q going to be happy to take the back. Still had the flash available, too. And again, once you kind of dash in with that Zac, you can just kind of slice and dice through you. Has the second dash to be able to get away from that one. So happily takes the escape. No flash burn. You're going to be easily able to return to this top lane.
Yeah, and I'm really, really enjoying seeing Bleeding Wolves soak up all this pressure, but Flaydon needs to take advantage of those opportunities. That's been a lot of, over the course of both Game 1 and Game 2, the Skarner Impales were unlucky. Their communication wasn't impressive together as a duo pairing, and so they're going to have to find a way to make it work because he is spending a lot of time in the top lane throughout these first 2 games. The ganks have been ineffective for Flaydon, but here comes Anderson Cooper. His ganks have been good.
Once again, in the mid lane here, onto Quartz Hill. Not going to find the snare, so he should be A-okay. And we'll actually have his flash back up in just a little bit. So good abuse of the timer there, just unable to find the execution.
Yeah, no Cyclone used just yet. I'm not sure if he actually just hit 6, if that was available there. But the flash is back up now for Quartz Hill in just a few seconds. He feels a little bit safer, and he has his jungler actually making his way to the mid lane.
Yeah, if he can get off the Scuttle Crab and look towards this mid lane, that was a really aggressive look there by Booty Bang and Billy, but still has flash. Will probably be safe from this gank. Flaydon, can you land the slingshot? Looking for it right now, but looks like he sniffed this one out.
Yeah, Tangle Barb's just barely missing. Oh no,
That's not a great place to be back in. Gonna get Cyclone up. A great taunt over the wall means he'll actually stay safe here. So despite being found out on the back, gonna survive the attempted execution there from Anderson Cooper, and now Collapse now coming through. Flaydon in a little bit of danger here, kind of a little bit alone. Now looking for the stun onto this Wukong, trying to pull them together, can't find it. Still has passive available. Standing Nine going to come through. Threesmark jumping on forward. A great 2-man taunt for Bleeding Wolves will find both of them. Anderson Cooper in trouble here. Gets taken super low. Flaydon still has passive. He's not even worried. He'll pick up the fruit, pick up the Herald, and they'll find a great play here on the top side of the map.
What a roam. An absolute psychotic roam coming out from Classic Esports. Both members of the bot lane coming up here to secure the Herald. Well played.
Yeah, let's take another look at that first blood here. I think it was a little bit of a misplay from Flaydon, but I'll let you take this one away.
Yeah, I mean, like, just knowing that he had the Stand United, we're just going to say he baited this, right? Here comes Shen flying in. And for Anderson Cooper, he already used his decoy, so he's completely just kind of in harm's way here. He gets taken down by the crazy roam of Threesmark, and he is exactly who Classic need to get ahead. Now they're giving him Herald plates in the top lane. They send Bleeding Wolves down here, and they're going to do so much work on the 2 plates so far onto Triple Q. Maybe some more.
Yeah, finding a lot of damage here, and I do want to point out during that replay, we did have a solo kill in mid lane. Booty Bang and Billy on the Nico, actually picking up Quartz Hill there. Back of a good engagement, followed up from a snare and the ultimate. Just too much CC for this Orianna to handle, just taken out there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we'll be able to see that in a few minutes or so, but Quartz Hill also burned his flash in that engagement, so there is another timer, a window of opportunity for Anderson Cooper to make something happen. His Cyclone is back up now. His first one didn't really work out too well. Bleeding Wolves with a nice taunt over the wall. We saw that earlier, so we'll see what he can do with his second attempt here at that ultimate. 45 seconds on the second Drake. Will CB Clockwork be able to stack it this time around? They had the first one in game 1, but they gave up the next 3 to Classic Esports. We'll see if they prioritize that kind of bottom half, that big objective here. It'll be a Mountain Drake, but Quartz Hill.
Anderson Cooper finding the Cyclone, falling in the stun, and actually just completely knocking Flaydon out of this engagement. Still looking to chase one forward. Teleport now coming in, and Abiyama on the binding. Gonna go a little bit wide as he chases on forward. Great snare from Booty Bang and Billy. Just might be enough to save him. He'll walk out with his life. Finding the kill and the gank setup there, abusing the flash timer, but it's not over just yet. Cyclone going in forward, dashing in, it's a great Hugify knocking up too, and now Bleeding Wolves is in trouble. Gonna dash out with the taunt, finds 2 of them with that CC, should be just enough to keep him alive, but they'll find the Zac in the passive, picking up the jungler, and that'll be Dragon most likely going over here to CB Clockwork.
And Clockwork says, your bot lane can run? Well, we can too. In comes Dory K, in comes Forgotten Turtle. They're going to make their way here. They'll just pick up the Drake here, and it'll be a nice stack here for Clockwork.
Continuing on towards this Mountain Drake 3's mark. Might be trying for something cheeky. You're going to dash on the Forgotten Turtle. Lances slow off back the Rocket Jump. Now trying to burst him down, but does not have the damage. Forgotten Turtle migrating back towards Dory K. Gonna be A-okay for now. Abiyama finding the binding for the disengage, but it might not be enough. Forgotten Turtle's low on mana. Doesn't have enough for another living artillery. It's Anderson Cooper still waiting in the wings, dissuading any kind of counter engagement here from this bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, 3's mark, he's actually lucky that he short hopped that second rocket jump. Otherwise, he would have been flying into his own death. So he managed to burn Forgotten Turtle summoners, and he'll take that for now. It's important to note that Turtle's been kind of killing it on the CS game in the bottom. That roam really kind of hurt 3's mark's farm numbers here, so he is falling down a little bit in that category. You see him almost 30 down right now. It's kind of crazy. And Kog'Maw, this is even worse of a scaling matchup for Classic Esports. The Draven Jinx, okay, the Draven got massive, but Kog'Maw late game, even mid game, is going to do so much work. You just gave him a free lane almost at either that Gale Force or that Kraken, and he's going to be coming online very soon.
Yeah, and the danger, of course, with Kog'Maw is that he is that really good trade here from Bleeding Wolves top lane. But the danger of Kog'Maw is that he's a ticking time bomb. Making mistakes against like Kog'Maw Lulu just puts you closer and closer to the end of the game where he hits that late game fantasy and just will pop off against your entire team. They can't take these 1-for-1 trades. They have to find continuous advantages. And despite finding a few plates top for themselves, ultimately I think their bottom lane tower actually took more damage. Because there's only 2 members of bottom lane down there, I believe Kog'Maw is actually just completely winning out on gold here. So would be surprised to see Forgotten Turtle kind of start to scale up here and really be that monstrous late game carry that he can be.
Yeah, Turtle does have a 300 gold lead right now on 3's mark. That's going to change with a couple of plates going down. But overall, Clockwork, they have that 1k gold lead, and more importantly, they're dragon stacking right now, and they feel like they have control. Anderson Cooper once again showing up. Even the Cyclone to completely negate the Elastic Slingshot of Flaydon is just doing so well. I mean, that Wukong pick you don't typically think of as a Zac counter, but he could technically save his Cyclone to stop the engage from Classic Esports. They want to get that Zac Orianna ball combo in, and now he's going in so...
Yeah, here comes the Stand United, gonna jump on here with Flaydon, now finding the knockups on the Forgotten Turtle, but the Hugify does come through. Forgotten Turtle kiting out of this one, and the kiting is just gonna chase them out of here. Teleport gonna completely dissuade this one. And now this turret's in danger here. Bottom lane will be showing back up 3's mark, and Abiyama might be able to defend this one, but Demolish procs are on, dashing back in. Last Slingshot lands on it too. It's a great knockup. Gonna go down almost immediately. Dark Binding under tower. These triple keep will take a ton of damage. No Hugify available. The last teleports will chain on this bottom lane. Forgotten Turtle goes into passive. Shockwave goes completely wide. It's a huge ultimate from Bang and Billy, forcing the disengage. Will pick up the support there. Smargana goes down. 3's mark in trouble. Gonna find the kill, and Triumph will save his life. It is Triple Q managing to escape on the backside of that fight, but what a chaotic bloodbath here in bottom lane. 3's mark, I'd say, coming up big here in this fight, though.
It's actually ridiculous that Classic come up on that fight. I can't believe they won that.
Yeah, I believe we have a replay coming up here. That one to break this one down even further. This is probably a turning point here.
Yeah, Flaydon just completely suicides to get that elastic slingshot, but it's worth it because Abby secures a really, really nice ultimate to root a couple up. And it doesn't even matter that Quartz Hill misses the shockwave because the rest of the crew are here. Booty Bang and Billy tries to save the day, and look at that sliver of a health bar from Three's Mark. He doesn't even flinch. He had the heal, used it early, and just, I mean, he's just kiting into the bush. He does not care about his health bar. He wants the kills. He's kind of like little mini counters, actually. So you love to see it. The 202 Tristana doing a lot of work. That's exactly what they need. But here comes Kog'Maw. He's online with the Kraken, making his way possibly to a Wit's End next. Got that dagger in the inventory, and he's got the safety of Dory K as well. Hugify is available once again. We'll see if they're going to be able to find some more protection for Forgotten Turtle. I think they were a little bit aggressive on that last kind of gank coming out from Classic Esports, so they can't misstep without Anderson Cooper there. They need him to kind of protect Forgotten Turtle from that Flaydon elastic slingshot and keep Forgotten Turtle alive.
Yeah, it's no Poppy W, but it'll do the job, managing to keep Flaydon out of the fight in mid lane, but unable to do it once again there in bottom lane as he was topside, clearing out a wave, potentially even looking for a gank setup on the Bleeding Wolves. When he took that standing at bottom, just completely nullified that play, and it was just a party bot lane that Anderson Cooper couldn't participate in. So might see a different looking team fights here in the future as Anderson Cooper looking to join up here at this dragon fight, now spawning in 10 seconds, and it's full priority mid lane here for Classic versus CB Clockwork. Get some good damage there onto the jungler, both getting chipped out just a little bit. Abilama in danger here, gonna Black Shield, should be okay for the stun. Good reflexes there to save themselves from Triple Q. That was the entire team waiting in the bushes there. Could have picked that one up. Gonna need to see a good shockwave here from Quartz Hill. Elastic Slingshot being channeled, dashing on in, gonna go a little bit wide. Not in range for the shockwave, so I'm not gonna find anything. But it's a massive ultimate here from Booty Bang and Billy, finding every member here from Classic Esports, and there's you can completely chase out of this fight. Huge AoE ultimates will do the job. That's all you need. Enough said. They find the fight, find the triple kill. Anderson Cooper picking up his third there in that fight, and they'll find the Ocean Dragon.
Yeah, pop with the weasel. My goodness, Booty Banging Billy with the pop blossom said, okay, Classic Esports, go ahead, run into me. I'm just going to get your entire team. And guess what? Quartz Hill's on the side. I don't need him in this ultimate. I mean, the whole point of Classic Esports comp right now is to pair this Orianna ball with the rest of the team, but Quartz Hill was completely separated because Triple Q zoned him out. He couldn't get to the rest of Classic Esports. They were split up. They couldn't utilize their own wombo combo, and my goodness, what a crazy ultimate. Oh, he's fine. Booty Banging Billy.
At least one of those. Oh my god, Three's Mark getting taken super low here. One more will do it, but not going to be able to find it just yet. Binding lands on the Dory K. This might be a dead loop, but that's no mana left. CC combo will land. Finding everything is Flaydon. You know, I'm going to be a critic here. You got to hit these elastic slingshots. That one was a stun target, and he just went over it.
He just missed the Wolves camp. Come on, it wasn't even there.
Yeah. It was a zoning slingshot there from him. And so we will hop into replay here. Wait, but not just yet. Actually, Bleeding Wolves looking to find the steal, but won't be able to find it. Not able to zone out Anderson Cooper as he flashes out of the Herald pit, picking up that last objective, or last neutral objective as we move into the Baron just a little bit.
You saw on the replay there, Dory K. I mean, it was just a really nice stun from Abby. Kind of a BM replay, I think, from the producers here. Flaydon missing that slingshot. I'm just playing. Thank you to Samter for the replays. Shout out to him. He's been great. Thank you, J-Dog, as well. Those are our two producers on the back end. Give them some love. But, I mean, you just saw once again Flaydon. I mean, I think he was just, kind of predicting a possible flash out of the Shenton. We're going to give him that. They almost were able to find the Herald Steel, Bleeding Wolves, on the way to that pit. But instead, you see Cooper now has it in his inventory. He is 3-1-3 on the Wukong. It's the mid-jungle strength right now for Clockwork that are keeping them afloat. They are up almost 3K right now, and it's off the backs of the Wukong, of the Nico. Anderson Cooper and Booty Bang and Billy doing so much AoE team fight work between Cyclone and Pop Blossom that it's just too much for Classic to handle. And in 3 minutes, they're going to have another fight on their hands because they're going to have to fight for Ocean Drake.
The good news for them is they do have the split pushing Shen here, and you see him actually winning trades here against Booty Bang and Billy in the top lane. able to just continuously shove out waves and kind of split up this wombo combo they have. But again, you're playing into Kog'Maw Lulu. You're going to be forced to deal with that at some point. So Shen not always the fastest pusher against these towers. They're going to need to find more than just, you know, a Shen in a side lane to really get back into this game. TripleQ looking forward as Abiyama lands yet another binding. I swear they are just at least 90% here on every single skill shot they throw out. It's been an insane series for them so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's really. You could see how much more synergy I think that Clockwork have with their original pairings. Dory K feeling a lot more comfortable right now, and Forgotten Turtle, even though he's 0-1, I mean, he's just playing so much better. That bot lane did not do well in game 1, and they've come back even in a lane that's supposed to lose in this matchup. There's a 42 CS lead for Forgotten Turtle right now. He's just doing his due diligence. He's doing what he needs to do. He's making sure that he farms up into the mid game. And at 20 minutes, they have an opportunity for Ocean Soul in just a minute and a half. So, I mean, really well played here. The Kog'Maw, he's on his way to, I believe he's going to go Wit's End with the Hearthbound Axe. That builds into Wit's End, right? Am I misremembering? 80 carries?
I believe it does, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was right
so-
in Wit's End. So I think there's a few other options he could go off the back of that. But I think Wit's End's probably the call here for him.
So, I mean, the Kog'Maw, once he gets that, there's so much AP damage, magic damage coming out from Classic. Everyone except for Tristana is going to be doing magic damage to him, so I like that call. Even a lot of Kog'Maws even build it first, actually, because it's such a strong item on him. So we'll see if Classic can find a window to fight this Soul in a minute. I mean, they're going to need to get a Morg Binding. They're going to need to parry their Orianna ultimate, find an explosive Command Shockwave on top of an Elastic Slingshot. Flaydon's going to need to step it up in this last fight here. Because if Ocean Soul goes over to Clockwork, I mean, we're not going to call it lights out, but it's as close as you can get.
Yeah, the thing to note is that when you're playing the Orianna with the Zac, you have to watch out for the range of that Elastic Slingshot, because you can easily hop out of the way, force the ball back to Orianna, and then you just have a Sombrero ultimate on the back line that does nothing. So you need to be very careful here. TripleQ, you have to be careful himself as he's going to dash forward here. We're looking for Quartz Hill. Soul will come on out as the Stand United now going to come through. Teleport being channeled. I'm not sure if they're able to save him, though. This Renekton's looking like he might be in trouble. Taunt should deny this, but he misses the taunt. Will still find the kill, and now the fight will continue. Buddy Bang and Billy in danger. Almost gets flash predicted there by Abiyama. To stay safe for now. So a very close fight here in the bottom lane. Almost looked really bad, but well, with one member down, they might just be able to take this dragon for themselves.
That was disastrous for Clockwork. It's 5 seconds until it's actually Ocean Drake is up now, but there are pings onto the Baron. They're too far. They're going to have to walk through Classic to get this. They still want the 4v5. TripleQ's down for another 13 seconds without teleport.
Yeah, it's dangerous here. Massive Cyclone onto 3. Innocent Cooper find the backline, and Buddy Bang and Billy will only find one on the other side of this fight. Trying to pop the passive of the Zac. Now chasing forward. Anderson Cooper looking for a kill. Gonna get shot blasted back here by the Tristana on the back of the Buster Shot, but everyone is so low they can't contest this anymore. Forgotten Turtle gets Shockwave back. That's some damage there from Quartz Hill. Abiyama finding the binding. Gonna get flash. Forgotten Turtle now chasing this one out. Dragon going low. Can they contest this one? Abiyama leading them on a merry chase. Gonna deal a juke out of that last living artillery, but it will get binded up. But they have survived. They fought. They won the fight. Dragon now completely stalled out here. They're going to try and start this one up, but I don't know if this is the right call. Bleeding Wolf's on the wrong side of this wall. Needs to get over, but does he have dash? Finally coming off cooldown. Will be able to get on over. TripleQ looking for the dragon, but there's no smite in the pit. And it will be secured. Bleeding Wolf's just going to pick that one up with the auto attack. That's all he needs. And now they're able to walk away from this one. No more engagement followed up as that Renekton is hurting. Three's mark brought a little bit low. Has the red buff. Might look for the engage, but he's going to jump out of this one. Quartz Hill taking another living artillery. It's a continued chase here from CB Clockwork. They want more. Forgotten Turtle, no mana, now getting binded up, taken out. They're gonna find the shutdown onto the Kog'Maw. Still trade one back. Three's mark also going down in that fight. It's a trade of 80 carries, but nothing really gained. They find the chase, they find a kill, but it's a shutdown from the Kog'Maw and not much gain off the back of the Three's mark kill.
Dude, there is just no reason. I feel like I'm saying this. I'm a broken record, Sulpan. Classic esports, time and time again, finding themselves in favorable outcomes when they shouldn't happen. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, we do have a replay of that last dragon fight as well. Multiple parts. We'll have to see where we jump in. Dory or Dunsey, you want to take this one away?
Yeah, I mean, Forgotten Turtle just oversteps. You guys already. I mean, I get it. You gave away the Ocean Drake. You feel good because you want a 4v5, but you're the Kog'Maw. I know you have a Lulu behind you. Dorique has been playing really, really well, but it's just too over aggressive at that point. Give it up, reset, and actually, your team has tempo because you got a couple of extra kills. Unfortunate that you didn't 50-50. A smiteless attempt at both junglers weren't there. Like, it's lucky that Bleeding Wolves got the Drake, but just reset. Adjust your waves. Make sure that you're able to find some map pressure and take advantage of the poor timings from Classic instead. Giving up that... Oh, no.
Bleeding Wolves in a little bit of trouble, but we get binded up here by the chain. CC Anderson Cooper flashing the wall, wants to find the Cyclone on this one. Bleeding Wolves now in a lot of trouble, but he still has a taunt. Just jumps over the other wall. Now getting chased out here. Forgotten Turtle and Dorique a little bit further ahead of their team will find the binding and find the disengage, and they're just going to be able to walk out of this one. A great escape there from Bleeding Wolves, but the fight, the chase is still on. And it's stunned up in mid-air, buffered through that one, will be unstoppable from the stun. Able to walk away, but they're pinging on the Baron. They want to find this one. It's a split push from Orianna. Quartz Hill still has that teleport, so could still look towards this Baron. They have the vision. They absolutely knows what's being started up, but will they contest? Bleeding Wolves has stayed united. It's Triple Q on the side. Gonna find the damage here. Might be able to out Alibaba. A great golden node completely nullifies the Nico ultimate. That's now down for this team fight. Staying united into this one. There's an Orianna on the flank. Might look for a crazy shockwave here, but needs to be careful. Finds a 3-man shockwave. Bleeding Wolves following up into this fight, but can they find the damage onto Forgotten Turtle? He's still alive, still doing the damage. Triple Q on the backside going down as well. Quartz Hill still doing damage, untouched on the Orianna. He just needs to take more damage. Threes mark over the wall on the rocket jump. Finds the Kog'Maw. Now continuing the jump forward. He's looking like counters out here as he picks up kill after kill on the resets. And it's Classic Esports, despite being down, despite being chased out, find the fight, find the ace, and they're looking at Baron.
That's unbelievable. It is actually unbelievable. Quartz Hill comes up huge in that shockwave.
That's exactly what they needed. We're going to get a replay of that one, and really, I think it was all shockwave. Dunsey, take it away.
I mean, just take a look at where he's placed. No vision on Quartz Hill right now on the bottom of your screen. Gets 3, and then the Shen taunt with the elastic slingshot layered on top of it. Just, he takes down, I mean, he doesn't get any solo kills immediately, but Anderson Cooper gets taken so low. And finally, there's a window for Threes Mark to find his resets. They cannot finish him off, and he's able to just hop around, just like you said, like counters out there. He's 4-2-6 on the Tristana. You got a massive Shen. The Orianna's doing work now. She's got a 500 gold shutdown on top of her head, and in a minute, you have Classic Esports marching down, trying to swing the Drakes back into their stacking favor. They're going to be picking up their second one, or it'll be an Ocean So for Clockwork. It's coming up in exactly 1 minute. It's finally a gold lead, though, now for Classic, and they are feeling their wombo.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is they want to fight. The bad news is that was a fight where they didn't have Nico ult, and it still looked very close. There was still a chance that if Forgotten Turtle went untouched or just wasn't CC'd as hard as he was that fight, they could turn it around. So this fight's still super dangerous. Classic Esports needs to be careful. They have the ability to claim prio in just about any lane thanks to this Baron buff. Now do you see them doing that? There's a wave crashing top. Gonna lose out some EXP there. Actually gonna pick up the tower. But even again, Billy, what are you doing here? Gonna get chased out, but he's on the wrong side of this one. Quartz Hill now looking to continue this one. Massive chunk of damage. This Orianna has gotten so big recently. Gonna find the shield. Might just go down to Bang Billy. Gonna have to go golden. Anderson Cooper gonna find the trade kill here in just a second. Finding the Cyclone, but it's not enough. Shockwave not gonna come out in time. Anderson Cooper now in danger here. That's a jungler that just might be going down. Flash over the wall into Hugify. Will knock up 3 for Dorique. Anderson Cooper looking to chase on forward. Abiyama will go golden. Forgotten Turtle's not hitting anyone right now, and Threes Mark still on the side. Could look to continue this fight. There's the teleport out there for the Shen. Staying United still available, and they could look to contest this dragon if they want.
Yeah, Threes Mark knows Stand United is available, and that's what they're going to try to play around. But Flaydon, oh my god!
Over the wall, Threes Mark looking to make this one a bait. Will find the kill through the exhaust. So despite the passes going down, can he find the Zac? No, just barely not going to be able to do it. It's 4 members alive here, but Bang Billy up in 4, has teleport available, might just make it back into this fight as Dorique getting chased out here by Threes Mark. Dragon on the table, they're going to start this one up. Looking over the wall, it's Flaydon on the side. They have this, or they don't have Smite either, so if they make it back into this fight, there's still a chance that they can take this one out. Triple Q on the flank, looking for a way in. Flaydon. No Smite available. Again, has to find something, but a flash top for Bleeding Wolves will zone out Dorique. Dragon being secured there by Abiyama will find, I believe, a Dark Binding to pick that one up as Threes Mark looks for a little bit more, but won't find anything.
Yeah, I mean, Clockwork are just... I don't know what's going on right now. They need to realize when to stop. That's the second time that Forgotten Turtle has just stepped too far forward. Dorike already flashed Wild Growth Anderson Cooper earlier. All of that was on cooldown. He wasn't going to be able to peel for Forgotten Turtle that time around, and he got caught out. The flank from Three's Mark on top of the... Stand United on top of the flying Zac going right at you. It's just too much, and they perfectly baited Forgotten Turtle in. They lulled him to this Zac, the Flaydon, who's went so low, and he got completely turned on. That's the second Drake in a row. That's 3 objectives, actually. The Drake, the Baron, into the Drake. That Classic Esports have somehow clawed their way back into this game, now with a 4K gold lead.
And keep in mind, they need this 3-0 if they want to continue their playoff dream. So one more win will put them a game closer. But they still need the next game after this as well. Clawing their way back into this one, 2 Ocean Drakes, picking up their first of the game after Soul Point was achieved by CB Clockwork. Picking up Baron after both Heralds were taken by CB Clockwork. Everything is coming up theirs in this late game, and it's not what you'd expect against a Kog'Maw comp.
Yeah, and I like this inherent glamour choice by Booty Bangin' Billy. He's like, okay, with Forgotten Turtle, he's been a little bit overextended. I'm just gonna go pretend to be overextended as Kog'Maw maybe and try to bait them in. No, playing on the tendencies of his own team. That's kind of funny, but we'll see what happens now with Baron coming up in 2 minutes. You have Drake coming up in 3 minutes. There's a little bit of a dance that the two teams are going to do without any major objectives up. You see Quartz Hill on the bottom side still working away. Clockwork passive on the turret, going to be able to take that one down. And the 1-3-1, kind of unorthodox with an Orianna in the side lane, is working out right now for Classic as they just wait for the next big objective.
Yeah, this is exactly what they want as well. Split up this Kog'Maw comp as much as you can, then look for a pick off the back of one of Abiyalama's insane Dark Bindings. Elastic Slingshot could also combo into that. You got the Stand United, here it comes, jumping on into its Flail, looking for the fight. So he's Mark dashing forward, will find the execution. Stand United going to keep him nice and healthy in this fight as well. Buster Shot keeps him alive as kicking out the cycle, but he'll go down. Booty Bangin' Billy picking up the kill off the back of an insane ultimate. Can they continue the fight? Orianna's not here yet. They don't really have a damage threat in this one. Bleeding Wolves trying to dash out of this fight. Shockwave will land on the one. He'll pick up Booty Bangin' Billy, trading out at least one member here. A great Dark Binding will pick up Dorike as well. And a merry chase pulls away Anderson Cooper and Triple Keith's attention. They won't even look at this Orianna, and it's ultimately a 3-for-3, but no objectives claimed here for either of these teams.
Yeah, and finally, Classic were the ones to kind of throw a fight. It started off so well for them, but just ended up 3-for-3. They should have gotten more.
We got a replay here of that fight as well. Let's see what happened with this Elastic Slingshot.
Yeah, Flaydon flies in, and take a look at Three's Mark's positioning. He Gale Forces forward. Right now, he's holding on to his reset Buster Shot, but the Booty Bangin' Billy ultimate locks him in place, completely bursts him out, and a little bit greedy with his positioning there was Three's Mark. You know, Quartz Hill had teleport available as well, but decides to hold it, and I'm going to call that a whiff on the Orianna ultimate, only getting one when forward chasing Bleeding Wolves. I think that somehow if Shen's taunt, if they wait out the cooldown on the taunt and are able to turn that fight, Classic can completely wipe there. But a really, really nice retaliation overall from CB Clockwork, especially Booty Bangin' Billy, who's putting the team on his back right now to keep them in this game and find Three's Mark. Looking for that Tristana. He's the big target for them. But now, this is a cheeky Baron. There's no vision around for Clockwork.
Yeah, teleportless Neeko there in the bottom lane.
It's
gonna be spell trouble here. It's gotta be a Baron going over here for this team, as they're gonna quickly pick this one up. They're gonna be happy about that one.
Yeah. And you know what? I think Clockwork actually knew. There's a few wards that could have potentially spotted them out. But you're right, like Booty Bangin' Billy in the top lane, it was just completely... He's the one person that you absolutely need at the team fight because he does so much burst right now. The Neeko build is just built for a ton of damage, some stall as well. The Pop Blossom going to stall, the Zhonya's going to stall, and now the next target is Drake. Once again, can Clockwork finally achieve Soul, or will they both be going to Soul Point? Soul Point, we're going to have another 5v5 here.
Yeah, we're looking at the reverse sweep on the Ocean Soul. They gotta be careful there. They're setting up for the team fight here. Booty Bangin' Billy over the wall in the form of Renekton, pretending to be someone he isn't. But he could just go for the flash here, go for the Pop Blossom, and they're just baiting him forward just a little bit more. They have the vision over this wall as well. Finally gonna sweep this one out. they're still in danger. They know exactly where they are. There's still another ward here. Going to find that one as well. Here it comes. Booty Bang Billy over the wall. Looking for the Pop Blossom onto 3. Goes Golden on one side. 3 Smart getting stunned up. Will pick him over the wall with the Buster Shot. Now on the backside. Keep an eye on 3 Smart. Can he stay alive through this fight? Going to take out Anderson Cooper. Quartz Hill shielded up. Staying alive. Bleeding Wolves on the backside. Chasing forward. Diving with a Shen. It's all you need. Buster Shot over the wall. Rocky jumping forward. Booty Bang Billy in trouble here. Really Smart going to find the kill. Double kill for Bleeding Wolves. And they continue the chase. But they don't want it anymore. They want this Ocean Dragon. Soul Point now going to be going over here to Classic Esports as Bleeding Wolves continues the chase on Dorike. They're running it back.
Sulpin, you called that so well, drawing the eyes right where you needed it to. I mean, Booty Bang and Billy, he really found an amazing flank there.
Got a replay of that last team fight as well, and what a crazy one it was. What do you got to say about this one?
Yeah, check it out. I love this from Booty Bang and Billy, but the one member that you needed to catch found his way, and this Buster Shot coming out. Yep, there it is. Triple Cute gets completely knocked away, and without his help, Anderson Cooper goes down. And I mean, it's just so well played there by 3 Smart to avoid a really, really nice play by Booty Bang and Billy, to be honest, as well. Both these members playing out of their minds, trying to carry their respective teams. And for Classic, they're just playing a little bit better right now in these team fights. It was a really, really rough early game. They had trouble slowing down Booty Bang and Billy and Anderson Cooper early, but they found their stride. And at this point, with an 8K gold lead and Baron still, they are firmly in the driver's seat to take Game 2 and push us to a winner-take-all playoff spot. I am so hyped for the even potential of that. Classic Esports just clawing their way back, trying so hard, fighting for their lives, and they are staying alive right now. They want this second win, and they want that playoff spot.
Yeah, I think one person I'm going to give a shout out to right now is Quartz Hill. Started this game getting solo killed by Booty Bang and Billy, now absolutely back in it. You see the damage they're pumping out. They're picking up kills on the backside of fights, finding great shockwaves, and even barely staying alive in that last fight with some shielding. So, Quartz Hill, props to you for staying calm, keeping a cool head, and really getting your team back in with these wombo combos.
And he's had some clutch ultimates. Go back to Game 1. Recall those Mega Inferno Bombs that are just layered on top of all the CC that Classic Esports are throwing at you? I mean, their entire comp has come together. They look disconnected in the first 20 minutes, but now Flaydon has found these engages. You have Bleeding Wolves just flying in, ceasing so many members with his taunt. Abby's just always hitting binding after binding, and the positioning of 3 Smart is just kind of in awe, right? You have to admire how well he's playing it. The previous team fight where it went even for Clockwork, that's when they caught him. And they went even. So even when they're catching out the biggest carry for Classic Esports, Clockwork still aren't finding a team fight win. They're just kind of stalemating. It's really, really tough for them at this point, but they do have late game Kog'Maw with a Lulu. They just need one team fight to be able to push down and take this Nexus from Classic.
I believe that's a QSS fully built here from 3 Smart as well, so keep an eye out for that. Looking to avoid either probably the Triple Cute stun or Booty Bang and Billy's Pop Blossom, making sure he can keep himself alive and not get completely chain comboed by that.
Yeah.
So I like the look. Absolutely needs to keep himself alive in these fights. You've seen what he's able to do if left untouched. So yeah, keep an eye on Tristana, absolutely. And basically every engagement here from here on. And at best, we're looking at even trades here from the side of CB Clockwork. They haven't really managed to win a team fight, it feels like, in the last 20 minutes or so. So nothing decisive coming out, but again, it has to be a good engagement. They have to find the right targets with Flayed on Slingshot. They have to find a good binding here from Abby-Llama, and they have to keep 3 Smart alive. It's just a question of can they accomplish all 3 in such a short time frame as, again, Kog'Maw scaling up. Baron coming up in a minute. Any team fight really in the next minute here could absolutely change the pace of the game. And this might just be it. It's Flayed on in a little bit of trouble. He'll just get traded out. He's okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to take that fight if you're Dory K. And as well as Classic have played the last 15 minutes, getting Drake after Drake, it only takes one more for CB Clockwork to be able to pretty much dominate a team fight with Ocean Soul. I mean, that's the kind of it's the buffer that they've been given to themselves because they played so well in the first 20 minutes that they only need one of the next 4. And guess what? We're hunting number 4 right now. This is your 4th shot if you're CB Clockwork to try and secure Soul. If you can get that, your tanks sustain so much through the DPS of Classic Esports, but oh my goodness, here we go!
Great Shockwave Elastic Slingshot combo. Let's bounce our way to victory. Flaydon finds the final slingshot, and that has got to be it. Triple Q getting chased out here. ThreeSmark on the damage will find the double kill. 3 members down for CB Clockwork, all off the back of a single engagement, and that's all it takes when you're this late in the game. They're hovering this tower. There's a wave behind them they have to protect, but you've got to imagine them walking on forward. Bleeding Wolves just says, screw it, I'm tanking this tower. We want to end this one here and now. Flaydon taking a little bit himself. Means finally going to arrive, going to take away that tower debuff. 2 members left here, Anderson, Cooper, and Bang and Billy. Not going to be able to defend this inhib at all, as Respawn Timers should keep their base alive, but Last Dragon's on the map, and it's Classic Esports that has the inner lane. They have the rotation. If they can make it to this one, there is no way for the Zac to be killable at this point. Getting 4 Ocean Dragons on himself. They're looking to get the damage onto this one. Anderson Cooper trying to find the steal here, but it's going to take a miracle. Completely zoned out. It is Ocean Soul reverse swept taken here by Classic Esports.
Yeah, I can't believe it, and like you said, just so well played. The synergy from Flaydon and Quartz Hill, it wasn't there in most of Game 1 and even Game 2, but oh my goodness, here's a catch!
Yeah, they might be in trouble here. Kimberly chase out 3-man Cyclone on the flash from Anderson Cooper. They're chasing on in. Find the stun. That's ThreeSmark. He's down. And now the teleport comes in, but it might be too little too late. Finally going down. Shockwave goes wide onto no one. Passive is out for the Zac. We'll find 1 kill there onto Bang and Billy, but it's 4 members alive. Baron on the map. Inhib down in the mid lane, but not much to be found. Quartz Hill gonna play this one 4 versus 1. Can he do it? Trying to kite out for now. Forced the burn flash. Triple Cute had the sun procced and ready. But now they're going to turn their eyes towards this Baron. Do they even want to contest this one? Teleport available for Bleeding Wolves. They have the ward in the pit. We'll find the pink ward there. Might just be looking at the Nexus. Going to force the back here as he's teleporting in. They need to stop this port if they can. Quartz Hill coming over the wall here in just a second. Might be able to find the damage as they start sieging the Nexus towers. Extra out. Going to find some damage there on Anderson Cooper, but they can't find anything else. This teleport might have been for naught. Bleeding Wolves getting chased out here by the Nexus as the recalls are coming through. He has to get out. This death could mean so much for CB Clockwork, but they just can't find the pick. No damage to be had. Baron going over to CB Clockwork. Soul going over to Classic Esports. And just like that, it's anyone's game once again.
Yeah, and the 6K gold lead for Classic Esports does not matter at this point.
Yeah, we're hopping over to a replay of that last fight to see it one more time.
I mean, check it out. It's just Quartz Hill just based, so he instant teleports in, but it doesn't matter because ThreeSmark is caught. Booty Banging Billy once again comes up huge for CB Clockwork, time and time again, just saving their entire roster from playoff doom. They want that spot. Booty Banging Billy is gonna do it by himself. Quartz Hill though was safe. He played it well despite missing his shockwave, was able to pick up a big shutdown onto Billy on the back end. I think they possibly could have tried to 2v4 that as the Shen Orianna while they were doing Baron, but instead they're gonna blow a teleport from the Shen, and I mean, it's just blow for blow right now, right? Baron goes to CB Clockwork, Soul goes to Classic Esports, and these two teams, that 5K gold lead right now does not matter. We are 42 minutes in. You have a 4-item Kog'Maw online, nearly full build with a Lulu backing him up. It's just who can get the first pick. When Kog'Maw gets killed, Forgotten Turtle's eliminated, well, Classic's just gonna run down your throat. If ThreeSmark gets picked by Booty Bang and Billy time and time again with those Pop Blossoms, it's gonna be CB Clockwork who are able to finally win that team fight. Man, they are so neck and neck. Game 1 so close. Game 2 even closer.
I'm really looking at ThreeSmark to fire off the Buster Shot heard around the world. I want to see Booty Bang and Billy attempt one of these Pop Blossoms to just get shoved back by the Tristana, and he has the potential to completely save his team from that ultimate engagement. Again, it's going to come down to this it could be the last team fight. Elder Dragon makes the game so volatile. You win the Smite War, you might just win the game off the back of a single Smite, a single Summoner spell, and the pressure is on for both these teams here. But again, Ocean Soul for one of them, going to give them a huge advantage in these fights.
Yeah, and Baron buff will run out before you get to that Elder Drake, so it will be an advantage. Oh my god.
Oh,
Abby.
Yeah,
the Tangle Barb is just crazy from Booty Bang and Billy. I mean, he's level 18, he's full build, he's feeling it right now. Abby's going to need... Oh, she has Ocean Soul and some plans, but she will decide to reset here. Going to be 4v5. Oh, no, she'll decide to stay. But like you called out, that Buster shot hurt around the road. I'll be looking forward to, but the way that the Neeko interaction works is when she is using her passive, her inherent glamour, on another member, and you W into the team fight, you actually cannot see Neeko. It's part of the way that the passive works, so she's invisible for that duration, and you can't see the Pop Blossom indicator until she comes out towards the second phase. So it's really, really late, and it's hard to Buster shot it in such a quick timing. It's going to be tough for Threesmark, but if he can get it, it will absolutely be a team fight winner.
Yeah, I mean, in top lane, you do now have Bleeding Wolves finally getting pushed out here by Triple Cute. Forced underneath tower, he wants to keep vision on him, make sure he can't go for this Stand United. Also, Triple Cute now has teleport available, so could join this team fight himself. Look for one of those flank angles on this Renekton. It's really anyone's game. It's just so incredibly close, and it's exactly what you want to see in such an intense series. Elder Dragon now up here in a minute. It'll be the crux of this game. Anyone who gets this dragon should end up taking the game, but of course, it all comes down to vision setup. Can you find priority in the right lanes? Can you have Bleeding Wolves teleport on the right target? Will Flailon find the right engagement? Will Forgotten Turtle just go untouched and team fight? Unanswered questions everywhere, and I'm really looking forward to how this one breaks down as they move towards this Elder, now establishing vision.
Yeah, you can cut the tension right now with the blade. It is so tense. You can feel the post-season atmosphere already here in Week 9. These teams are fighting for their lives. One win for CB Clockwork secures them the playoffs. Classic need both of these next 2 wins in order to find their way into the postseason. So Dory K, step out, make his bounds!
Finding Dory K uses Huge Five, but he goes down. Buddy Bang and Billy now getting pulled in. Gonna be forced to ultimate here, but he's getting completely shut down. Forced to go Golden Knights on massive shield as well. Corksteel still alive on the backside of this fight, but it's a double kill for Flaydon. Now on the backside of the fight, NSC Cooper chasing forward onto Threesmark. Gonna get taken out here as Bleeding Wolves now onto Forgotten Turtle. It's just divers on divers. Threesmark still alive on the backside of this one. Corksteel still alive on the back of this one. Bleeding Wolves finds the kill. NSC Cooper and Triple Q can't have the damage here for Threesmark. They're gonna go down eventually. They fall. That is everyone on the side of CB Clockwork going down. That is an ace for Classic Esports, and they will take the Nexus here in Game 2 as they push on towards this inhibitor.
And they don't even need the Elder Drake. It finally spawns. Instead, they know what the objective is. Teleporting into the base. Classic Esports are alive. 2-0, and they need one more to secure the playoffs. Can CB Clockwork come back? I don't know. It's going to be winner take all to get into the postseason, Sulpin.
You know, it's not quite a traditional Silver Scrapes, but I swear we deserve the song here and now, as it all comes down to this next game. In a sense, they've reverse swept their way on Dragons. They found their way back into this game. They're finding their way back into playoffs, and they need just one more win off the back of these last 2 in order to come back and find their playoff spot. Can they do it? It's all up to questions. I'm super excited to see how this next one pans out. Let's talk to our analyst desk, see what they have to say about this last game.
Who threw that binding? Who threw?
Oh no!
Vision Cam come! I can't believe it. One time, the one fight that it mattered, Dory gets hit and he falls in a heartbeat. I can almost feel his finger spamming that F key now, trying to get away. Just couldn't get out, and it really hurts for Clockwork. All on Game 3. If you win, you're in. If you lose, you're out.
That sums up the entire game. I mean, the whole game was so tense. It was so back and forth. Clockwork securing the first 3 dragons on a pretty massive mid and bot lead. And then the next 3, really the next 4, just really not going their way whatsoever. And then on the end of an Elder 15-minute game, Dory gets caught out. That is a very unfortunate way to end that game.
Going into the last fight, I was looking at cooldowns, checking items. 10 flashes, all available. Everyone had everything.
Wow.
And last time we really saw came into that scenario, it was Clockwork that came on top. It was Booty Bang and Billy making a huge flash play. Threesmark getting caught. But it just doesn't matter. It all comes down to execution, and you got to feel for Clockwork now. That was an emotionally exhausting game, a physically draining game, and for Classic, I mean, they're probably not in too much better of a situation right now. Even after a nail biter of a game like that, you still have these nerves, this tension building up. And now we can talk about a little bit more about the game, but I just want these two teams to take this moment, calm down. If you're getting coaching right now, take a breather, tell your team, it's okay. It doesn't matter. Don't think about that game. Sure, you can take some advice and push it into game 3, but honestly, it's a best of 1 at this point for Clockwork. If you win, that's all that matters. Doesn't matter how you perform for the rest of the evening.
All they need is this one win. All they need is one win in this whole block of 3, and they are in playoffs, and now they're currently sitting 0-2. They just need the last win. That's it. Like you're saying, it is just the best of 1. But on this game, too, there is definitely a lot to take away. Maybe not to take into game 3, but to take into any future series that they do play together as a team, whether that's playoffs or whether that's another league. Yeah,
and I mean, I got to start in the bot lane as we always do. These two AD carries, putting it all on the line, sometimes a little bit too far. Threes Mark, Malphite-esque, but honestly, this game kind of looked like AP Malphite. It was one shot in kids left and right. And I got to give it props to him. I play against these guys on the regular. Really nice to play against Threes Mark. I think he has a lot of confidence. And to have the nerves to go over a wall on Tristana into a Wukong, into a Nico, into a Renekton, and just press W, have the faith that you have your Gale Force, you have your summoners, everything you need to one-shot Turtle, and he did it time and time again. He's finding ways into the backline. I can't overstate the confidence that you have to have in a series like this where the games are so close to make that play. I'm not sure what the comms are like, but if he's the one leading it, you've got to give huge marks to this guy because he's coming up big tonight for Classic.
Yeah, and on the other side, Forgotten Turtle on the Kog'Maw, he does really know his damage so well. He knows how to position, he knows how to not die in these fights. That's how they were able to secure the first 3 Dragons and almost get a clean 4-0 for Dragons. But then he just got picked out so much in the last few team fights because his team were playing for the dive, they were playing to kill Threes Mark, they were playing to kill Quartz Hill, they weren't playing to protect Forgotten Turtle, which is where they needed their damage.
Exactly, and I feel like that's the issue here is, yes, you have Threes Mark going over the wall. Yes, you have a lot of follow-up with it. The Zac combo catching Turtle out in mid lane. Had Flash that time. Didn't matter all too much, but you gotta minimize those mistakes. You can't keep giving over free gold. And when you are the main carry, when you are the one with the Kog'Maw Lulu in the late game, you have to play around it. Yeah. I think a couple times, maybe your front line goes a little bit too far. Turtle then has to realize, okay, I'm in a bad situation. Either I'm going to stay too far back, not maximize my DPS, or go too far forward and get caught out. I think he chose the latter a little bit too much. Maybe sort of having to play in the middle ground. But honestly, Clockwork, it's a rough game. Like,
oh man,
there's a lot from these two teams that you can shrug off. Yeah, honestly, and even for a Classic, a couple shockwaves that leaves my jaw on the floor. Like, where are these shockwaves going? They're hitting air molecules. I just don't understand. But either way, mistakes are mistakes. All that matters now is going into game 3, and I don't think we're going to get Kog'Maw again. I don't think that one's going to come back out. Threes Mark probably looking at the Tristana again saying, hey, this is still a good option. Got to come up with something in the bot lane. If you're not winning the 2v2 in the bot lane, I feel like that's what's been determined in the game. When Threes Mark is ahead, he will use his gold lead effectively. You have to minimize if you're Dory and Turtle at this point. And last point I really want to make here about this 2v2 is if you're down, just drop it. If you're going to lose a wave, just lose the wave. You want to push for a plate? You know their jungler's coming. Just leave the gold. It doesn't matter. Don't get greedy. Back up. Please, Dory and Turtle. You guys can win this lane, but don't overextend yourselves.
It's so tasty looking. You just want that gold. No, but yeah, Kog'Maw, he built glass cannon that game. He built no tank. There was no shield bow, there was no frozen heart. There was a wit's end, but frozen heart and what's the other item?
The shield bow?
No, the other one. I can't remember it, but the attack speed slow that's not frozen heart. The one that Kog'Maw sometimes builds as well is also very strong.
I don't think it's attack speed slow.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I thought we were going to get more of like a Juggermaw style with the Wit's End coming out. But then he goes Kraken, just really indexing in full-on attack speed plus the Ardent Sensor. Actually, it may have been over the attack speed limit, to be honest. A lethal tempo just allow you to go over the attack speed for a little bit. But here and there, maybe some itemization. Boris got the best of Turtle, maybe a little bit, but regardless, it doesn't really matter at that point. Just hoping these two in the bot lane can hold on. Don't let Threes Mark dominate in this bot lane and let your top side do work. Again, I think Triple did pretty well. Lots of aggressive plays. The Wukong and Anderson, by the way, huge cyclones in that backline. Everyone getting disrupted, forcing Quartz to panic ult, getting Zhonya's here and there as well. So honestly, pretty good stuff from Anderson. I'm hoping a lot more of the team starts to rotate to him, maybe look to help him out more instead of just trying to respond to the aggression in bot lane. I think that could be a win condition for Clockwork that could get them their ticket.
So many amazing Cyclones that game, and then followed up as well with the Nico with the Pop Blossoms.
Yeah.
There were a lot of good picks from him as well, especially in those early pre-level 11 bot lane skirmishes. The Nico was already one-shotting people. She landed the E, she landed the Q, and they were dead. It's where did they go? I don't know. Apparently they got popped by the Blossom, so she was somehow already fed so early on, and then that is, again, how they were able to find those early leads. It was just not enough to find the Kog'Maw, his 3 items that he needed to get that Ocean Soul and close out the game.
Yeah, I mean, they were so close to getting Ocean Soul win condition, Clockwork were. It just came up so short, and then it was 4 Oceans back to back.
Yeah,
for Classic. That's really hard to deal with, to be honest. You can talk about like little bits here and there. Yeah, you get some resistances from like a singular Mountain Drake. Oh, you get some sustain from an Ocean. When you have 3 Oceans, every time you're out of combat, that is like really significant sustain. Nothing like a Warmog, sure, but it actually does matter if you're going back and forth in lane or in a side wave. Plus, of course, the Ocean Soul in combat is just almost unbeatable. You really have to begin to outplay, and I think the member here that if you're Classic, you just need to really focus on is jungle. As long as you are continuing pressure bot lane, as long as Joy and Turtle are continuing to make positioning errors, that's still a win condition for them. If they aren't willing to give waves, if they aren't willing to minimize, then I think Classic just roll this series, and it all stems from jungle pressure and the team deciding, hey, we're going to play around our carry in the bot lane.
On the Zac there, he definitely did get ahead on his own in that early game. Then he was able to transition that more over to Threes Mark than Quartz Hill, just because of that's a Tristana. You get your Tristana fed, like you were saying. He's gonna go for those Malphite-esque plays where he jumps into 3 people, which seems very, very terrifying to do, but the fact that he was able to do it and had the guts to do it shows that he is definitely going to be playing most likely the same way, as we did get to see him play that way in game 1 on the Draven, and then Quartz Hill on the Orianna. We gotta point it out, man, that those shockwaves combined with the Zacs, that the Zac bounces were just absolutely huge, absolutely got quite a few very important picks before objectives.
Yeah, and that one in mid lane keeps calling back to me. It may not have amounted to anything in and of itself, but that exact same thing happens in every... Yeah, it's an easy way to visualize what's going on in team fights as well. It may not be under Turtle every time, may not be under the hyper carry, but if you're keeping the Wukong away from Threes Mark, if you're keeping the Renekton away from Quartz, if you're dragging back these bruisers away from your squishies, it buys so much time for decision making. And this is the last thing I think we really need to harp on from game 2, is it blows cooldowns. And I think Threes Mark got away with a lot of what he did is because I'm not sure if he's big braining it and timing cooldowns or if he's just getting damn near lucky. Every time he's jumping over, he's not getting polymorphed, he's not getting stunned, he's not getting locked up by the Cyclone. He's getting away with it because cooldowns are blown and they're not focusing him. So there is angle here for Clockwork. There is sort of a way for them to play around Threes Mark aggression. It just requires patience. And in a series like this, man, asking your support, asking your mid laner, say, hey, can you save a cooldown in a team fight? Yeah, that's a tall ask.
Yeah, that's patience in a game like this where it's going 50 minutes and every single team fight seems like it's going to be the last. I lost count how many team fights past the 30-minute mark seemed like it was going to be last. There was the Baron fight with the Ace. There was the backdoor with the Shen. There was, I think, 2 or 3 fights before the Elder that actually resulted in the Elder. There were so many fights that happened around objectives and then didn't even result in the objective.
Yeah, and I mean, it's all coming down to confidence and willingness to make the call saying, hey, we commit to this. One memory of that is the 50-50 on Ocean Soul.
Oh,
it was
man.
Turtle autoing the Drake over the wall, neither jungler there, and then the Shen takes it. I'm not sure if it was an auto or bombies, who knows, but mistakes like those cost you games, and I don't want to say that one in particular cost them that game, but
Yeah.
come on, you still have Turtle at 3/4 HP, you still have the Lulu with him, you can walk into the river. There is vision there for you to play around. It's silly mistakes like those that can really end up stacking up, and just like Drake's, those got stacked up as well for Classic. Gotta move on, Camcom, to game 3 after the bang of
Yes.
a game 2. We gotta buy a little bit more time for Sulpan and Dunzi to chug their water down. Moving into game 3, what are we switching up? We already talked about bot lane. We want to see a minimizing bot lane. Is there anything else for Clockwork that can get them a ticket to playoffs?
I really liked the Wukong. I just didn't like it in the jungle. So if they could throw that to the top lane or the mid lane, I'm not so sure about player champion pools there, but it just does not have a clear speed anywhere close to Zax or anywhere in another role where you can have picks like the Sinzao, like the Rumble, both of which were completely left open the entire game to drop, no pick, no ban. It's just those kinds of champions that just way out CS a champion like Wukong in the jungle. It's just, he's such a good champion, he's just not one in the jungle.
Yeah, it's just a lower economy in the jungle at this point with later jungle spawn timings, with it being less gold and XP now. It's really hard to make Wukong a kill threat. He can stay alive, cause a lot of disruption in a fight, buy a lot of time. I think even in one of those fights, someone, I think it maybe was the Zac flashing forward to knock up like a Wukong clone, or was a Nico clone or something. Those cooldowns matter. Like when you're using flash for a clone, that's a big punishable error. But yeah, when you're only getting a set amount of gold and it's a low amount of gold, you have to itemize pretty defensively. You can't opt